Alrighty guys, welcome back. This is Crooked Leg here with Operation Northwind. This would be turn 10, I believe, for the British Commonwealth and the Free French. We have $9 to spend since we lost, I think we lost like $15 or $20 or something crazy in convoy rating. I think we only had $1 left that was available to take in the Mediterranean. So yeah, we have $9 to spend. We're going to buy a militia for Cape Town, and then we're going to spend 7 and lend-lease a destroyer to the U.S. In San Francisco. ANZAC is going to spend their 4 and buy an artillery in Sydney. And then we're going to do 2 motorized upgrades with FEC. They'll be built at the medium factory. And then we will do $3 in repairs for the city itself, which should leave us with $10, or leave us with $7 in damage. And we'll do 3. Okay. And then Free French are going to buy a militia and save 5. Excuse me. Okay, so that's that. Let's get into tech rolls here. We're trying for long-range aircraft. Would be really nice if we completed long-range aircraft. We got a 2, so that's a fail. Okay, so now go on long-range aircraft. Surprise, surprise. Let's do diplomacy here before I forget. We only have 1 diplomacy roll because the other one isn't available to use. We still have the advisor in Sweden, but we haven't reached, I think we just have stage 1 still, if I remember correctly. Okay, so for Venezuela, we're going to try to get to stage 2, so we can get a buck. And we got a 6, so that's a fail. Would have needed a 2. Okay. So with that done, let's get into combat moves. So there are several here. The first combat move is up here in Scotland. We're going to bring the fighter and the tactical bomber that are on the carriers in A27. They're going to go 1, 2, 3 because they have this border here with Scotland. They're going to hit Scotland. They'll only have 1 movement left, so they'll land back into, what is it, Northern England? Yeah. The fighter in London is going to go 1, 2, 3, and he'll have 2 movement left, so he'll land back into probably Southern England, but we'll kind of just see. Kind of just depends here. So we have that. What else? Then the AA gun and the infantry from Northern England are also going to walk into Scotland. So hopefully we get lucky on turn 1 here and can take this. So it'll be 2 fighters, a tactical, an infantry, and an AA gun. Then coming back over here, the 3 fighters that are in Southern England are going to go on map here in A21. They're the only units that can actually hit the subs on map. They can't pair with the destroyers because of advanced subs. I already got orders from the Germans. They're not going to scramble because we're bringing... I'm just going to put a marker in here because there's going to be a lot. We're bringing into this sea zone just to block the opportunity of the opponent is 2 destroyers plus a 3rd destroyer from the south down at Gibraltar, so he would have come up 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 3 destroyers in there, a heavy cruiser, 2 TBDs, along with these light carriers. Oops, hit the camera here. Okay, and then 2 light cruisers came up as well, and a battleship. So you would have 1, 2, 3. So that whole fleet moved here to A21 to support the fighters, just in case they decided to do something. So we have that battle there. So it'll be a quick battle. We'll probably miss with all of the fighters, but we can hope that we don't. At Gibraltar, we have on the card, which is technically an M2, is a sub, 5 heavy cruisers, a destroyer, a light cruiser, and a battle cruiser. They're going to be joined by the 2 battleships. So all the units that are on the card there, plus the seaplane that's in Gibraltar, because he doesn't have to go on map because the Italians have elected to not submerge their subs or decline combat. So that force on the card for 4 is going to move 1, 2 into M8 to attack the Italian fleet over there. And then we'll also bring the seaplane as well that's in Lower Egypt. So he'll be involved in that battle too. So we'll have that. What else? The medium bomber and the air transport are going to go from Gibraltar 1, 2, 3, 4 and hit Western Egypt. So he'll drop an airborne infantry into Western Egypt. Medium bomber will attack into there as well. So he'll have 1 movement left. So he has 5 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 5. So he'll land there. Air transport will have 2 movement left, but it'll land in Lower Egypt too. And then we're going to take 3 artillery into Western Egypt. Running out of space here. 3 artillery from Lower Egypt into Western Egypt. And we will bring 4 infantry. So that'll leave behind 2 infantry in Lower Egypt there. Okay, so there's that force. Then down in Cape Town, I'm gonna try to break out a little bit here. It could be a little risky, but we're gonna try. The 2 cavalry are going to move through Bachland, I believe is what it's called, and they're going to attack into Rhodesia. So it's 2 cavalry attacking into there. I will note that the cavalry will have river penalty on the first round. So it'll be 2 2s versus 1 2, and then they'll go back to 3s on the second round. So we'll have that battle there. And then over here in India, we have a battle. The medium armor that's in Calcutta is going to move 1 into Benares and 2 into Delhi. The 2 medium armor that are in southern India are going to drive into Delhi. The infantry from Maharashtra is going to walk into Delhi. An infantry and an artillery from, we'll take the 2 ANZAC infantry from India plus the artillery. So they'll attack into Delhi as well. So we'll have a total of 3 infantry, 3 medium armor, and an artillery attacking into Delhi. So there's that combat. And then, the angled camera here, we have 2 other combat moves over here in the Pacific. So the coastal sub that's there in I believe it's P50. Double check. Yeah, P50. He'll stay there in convoy raid. The submarine that's in P50 is going to move 1, 2, 3 to P53 and attack the heavy cruiser there. I think. No, actually, he's going to go from P50 1, 2 and hit the TBD and transport here at the Mariana Islands. I missed that. Didn't realize that was such a weak point. So we'll hit there. So the destroyer, or not destroyer, the TBD against the sub. So we'll have the first strike there. And then finally, the last combat move that we have will be down in Australia. The 3 infantry that are in Sydney are going to walk into New South Wales to perform a combat against the militia that's there. So it'll be 3 2s versus 1 2. Okay, so I believe that's it for combat moves, with the exception of an escort duty order. So the coastal defense ship that is up here in the Atlantic. He's going to go on escort duty. Let me grab a token for that. So that's technically a combat move. Trying to remember to do that during the combat and not as a non-combat. So he's on escort duty. And I believe that does it for combat orders at this point. At one point we had looked at sending the transport from Gibraltar down to Belgian Congo and landing at least a guy down there, but since that Japanese sub moved down there, we don't want to do that. So, okay. So that's it for combat moves. So let's get into rolls here then. So let's start with, move up the camera here. Let's start with the map in A21. This should go fairly quick. It's just the 3 fighters at 6s. So let's do that real quick. Come on, 6s, no numbers. You've got to be kidding me. I told you, Tim. I really told you. Oh, I got 3 7s. So if we're playing Yahtzee, it'd be a great roll. But there's the 7s. There's a little bit of a glare. But there you go. So the subs are fine. We didn't do anything there, unfortunately. So, okay. Let's see. From there, let's go to the battle in Scotland. So let me position the units off here to the side so we can see what we got. So we have the AA gun won't have a hit value, but he'll be in there. The infantry attacking at a 1 because of the mountain penalty. The 2 fighters at 6s. The tactical bomber at a 7. Be really nice if we could get this on 1 round. But if we roll like we just did, we're not going to. So, okay. As Tim says, I've got the kind of luck that Bob has. Bob Hatcher, the playtester for 1914. So, from what I understand, he has bad luck like me. So, okay. Here we go. So we'll have the infantry at a 1 for the attacking piece here that we have. So there's our 1, and of course it's a 2. So that missed. And then let me move here so I can maybe get a better angle without a glare. I don't like this glare. Set the unit purchase stuff over here. Okay, and then we have the 2 fighters that will be 6s, and then the tactical bomber will be a 7. So black for the fighters and red for the tactical. So here we go. Okay, we got our 2 hits. There's a 2 and a 1. So now assuming that he doesn't get both hits, because he'll roll on 4s. So he missed with both. So that's good. That's what we needed. Okay. So we will take back Scotland. Let me update that over here so you can see. So we'll take back Scotland with an AA gun and an infantry. Woohoo! Would have rather killed some subs, honestly. Okay. And then we'll land the aircraft after this. So they're in there still currently, floating around. Okay. So then we'll update the income tracker here. So the British will go up by $1 to 22, and the Germans, I believe, go down to 50. May not be accurate on my end, but I know I'm at 22. I just did an update on my income here recently. Okay, so that's that. What else? Let's do the battle in Rhodesia, because that's a quick and easy one. So it's 1 militia versus the 2 cavalry that are attacking. So I'm going to roll everything together. So he has 1 at 2, and then I'll have my 2 at 2. So here we go. This is the first round, and they're at 2s because of the river penalty on my end. Okay, so everybody missed. So then now I go to 3. Okay. So here we go. Missed on that. Round 3. It's close enough to an 8. Everybody missed. Everybody missed. Everybody missed. Okay, we both got hits. So I'll lose a cavalry and he'll lose his militia. So we'll take that back. So that gives us $1, and the Italians will go down $1. So we go up to 23. Italians go down to 19. And pull these units off here real quick. So we take it just with 1 cavalry. They'll probably get killed against the Italian force that's there, but I'm trying to make some moves here to start pushing. Or we're not gonna get Africa back. Okay, so that battle's done. Let's do the battle in Western Egypt. Let me grab these guys here. So it's 3 artillery again for my end, the 4 infantry, and the airborne, plus the medium bomber. I'm not going to bring the air transport because he doesn't do anything, and I'm not going to take him as a casualty. And there's no AA gun, so I don't have to worry about that. Versus his 2 infantry class units. Not sure if they're colonials or regular infantry, but it doesn't matter in this case. And then his motorized. Okay. So the airborne will attack with a +1, so he'll be at a 2. And then we'll have the 3 infantry boosted to 2s because they're paired with the artillery. And then the artillery will be at 2s because of the desert. So we'll have 1 infantry at 1. So we'll have 2, 4, 7 in total. 7 2s and 1 7, along with 1 at 1. So we do have first strikes. We have 3. So let's go ahead and roll those. First strikes at a 2. So here's the first strikes. Those would have been good tech rolls. Okay, so the first strike's all missed. And then now we'll get into the regular stuff. So here's our 1 guy at 1. He missed. Then we'll have the 3 other infantry that are paired plus the airborne. So here's 4 at 2s. They all missed. Okay. And then the medium bomber at a 7. He got a hit. So he's down to 1 there, and then the other motorized. So here's his 3 at 4s. So he got 1 hit. Too bad he's not in a city, or he would have target select. So we'll lose the infantry. I don't think I have to take the airborne since it's not a city. But if it is, then I guess we can adjust for that. I'll just go ahead and do that because I don't know for sure. I have to go back and look. Okay. So the airborne dies, but then we'll have 1 at 1, and then we'll have our other guys. Okay, so here's the units here now. So he has his 2 at 4s. I have 1 at 1. I have 6 at 3, or 6 at 2, excuse me, and then 1 at 7 still. Okay, so here we go. So let's roll the 1 at 1. He got a 2, of course, so he missed. And then here's the 6 at 2s. We got 1 hit. There's a 2 there. Everything else missed, so we're at 1 hit total. Okay, and then the medium bomber at a 7. He missed at a 9. Okay, so now his 2 at 4s. There's 1 hit for him. The other one missed. Okay, so we're down to 3 infantry and 3 artillery against his infantry left. I'm sure he'll lose the motorized, or lose the regular infantry since the motorized is technically more valuable. I want to change it after this if it doesn't progress, and so be it. Okay, so now we have 6 at 2, and then we'll go ahead and roll the red dice as the medium bomber here. So 6 at 2 and 1 at 7. Wow. I wish I would have rolled that on the first go. So we have 3 2s, and then we have a 4. So that's our hits that we needed. Okay. And then his motorized missed. Okay. That wasn't a bad battle at all. That one went well. Okay, so let's go put those guys back. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and update the income tracker since I'm over here. So the British go up another $1, so they go to 24. The Italians go down to 18. And again, we took it with 3 infantry and 3 artillery, along with the medium bomber. Okay. Okay. So that comes off. So the artillery. Okay. And then now, let's go ahead and pull off the units here for the battle in M8. This one should be interesting. I have an overwhelming force here, but if I get diced, it could still turn out nasty to an extent for me. Okay. And then the only other battle after this would be the one, well actually there's 3 in the Pacific, between the battle in India and then the battle that we have with the both the subs. The one against the TBD, which we have better odds. And then of course the other one, which is the convoy raid. Okay. So there's his guys. I have his orders written down for casualty as well as what he wants to do if he gets any target select. Because he does have several units here. Okay. Let me grab my units. Could have probably done this off camera, but with it being so many units on my end that we're moving around, figured it made more sense to do it on camera. Okay, seaplanes luckily are at 5s because of ASW, which is very nice. 2 battleships. Destroyer at a 4. Battlecruiser at a 7. Light cruiser, and all the heavies, plus the sub. Okay, so here we go. So the good news is that we have in this battle is that his subs all submerge after the first round. So, okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the first strike because I do have a sub that'll have a first strike because he has no destroyer present. So we'll get that, so let's get that out of the way. So a sub at 3, and I got a target select. Okay, that's nice. So we're gonna target select. We're gonna target select a heavy cruiser and get that gone. So that'll help, hopefully. That was really nice. Hopefully this continues then in my favor. Okay, so that's it for the sub. So he's out of the way and done. So now for the regular combat for me here, I have the destroyer at a 4, he missed. And then I have the heavy cruiser at a 5, he missed. 2 seaplanes at 5s. There's 1 hit, so it'll have to go against a coastal sub. And then we have the 5 heavy cruisers at 6s. So there's a hit. 1, 2, 3. This is a 7, so that missed. So I got 3 hits there. So his orders are a seaplane, and then after that, coastal subs. So I have 3 here. So the seaplane and 2 of the coastal subs die. So he's down to the heavy cruiser, the light cruiser, and the battleship, along with the 2 regular subs. Okay. So that's done. The battle cruiser on my end at a 7. Got a 9, so he missed. And then the 2 battleships at 8s. Got a 2 and an 8. So that's 2 more hits. So he shows damaging the battleship. So let me grab a token to show that. And then he shows losing the light cruiser. Saving the other subs for convoy rating here. Okay. So there's that. So not a bad round for us, honestly. Okay. So now on his end, we'll have 3 coastal subs at 2s. He gets 1 in a target select. Coastal subs, I believe, have a target select. Yes, target select on 1. So he's going to target select the battle cruiser. So we'll lose that. Okay, he missed with the other 2. And then the 2 subs at 3s. There's another hit. So we'll just put a count up here. It's not a target select, so we don't have to worry about that. The seaplane at a 3, missed. The light cruiser at a 5. He got a 2, so that hit, I believe. Where's the heavy cruiser? Yeah, they target select aircraft on a 3. So we'll lose a seaplane. Okay. Okay. Though, I guess if he wants to change it and he doesn't want to target select a seaplane, he can let me know and we can go there from there. The heavy cruiser at a 6 got a 10, so that missed. And then the battleship at an 8 got another hit. So we had 2 hits total. So we will damage both of our battleships. So they'll go down to 6s. So you can see that over here. Okay, so his battleship was damaged and goes down to a 6. He's lost the light cruiser. He's lost the 3 coastal subs, and he lost the seaplane. The 2 subs submerge, so they go back to the sea zone. So they're in there hanging out. And we lost the seaplane. Okay. So with that, we have the sub still, a destroyer, the light cruiser, the seaplane, which can't hit anything now, but it's in there, and then the 5 heavy cruisers and the 2 battleships. So not a terrible round for me. Would have been nice not to lose the battle cruiser, so that does hurt, but worth it at this point, since we did get a target select also too. So, okay, so let's go for round 2 here. So round 2, again, we have the submarine at a 3, because it gets a first strike surprise attack, I believe, because there's no destroyer present. So he missed at a 6. Okay, so now we're regular combat. So the destroyer at a 4. There's 1 hit. And then the light cruiser at a 5. Missed. And then now we'll do all the 6s. So we have 7 6s. We only got 1. But that was the hit we needed. So that's 2 hits total. So really bad on 6s there otherwise. So. Okay, so we got the 2 hits that we needed. So now for him, we're gonna roll the 2 at 6 for his rebuttal. And he got 1 hit. So we will lose the sub. Okay. So the Italian fleet is no more. So we will have left in the sea zone 2 damaged battleships, 5 heavy cruisers, 1 light cruiser, 1 destroyer, and then the seaplane. So let me put that force back in M8. And he did have his 2 subs survive, so that is good for him. So hopefully we can kill 1 more sub with the French turn by using the medium bomber there in low Egypt. We can hope. We'll probably miss, but we can hope. Okay. The good news is we have the major dockyard here, so these battleships can just go in port and get repaired this turn, which will be nice. This whole force will just go in port in Lower Egypt afterwards. Okay, so then the battle we have over here in Delhi. So let me grab the 3 infantry, the artillery, the 3 medium armor, and then his militia and infantry. He's still surrounded, so they will have penalties. So he'll defend at a 1 and a 2, is what my understanding is. It's -1 for the defender. He will, I believe, have target select still against my armor. There's no river penalties, so I don't have to worry about that, but the tanks attack at a -2, so they'll only be attacking at 4s instead of at 6s. And then we'll have our infantry here. So we'll have 2 infantry at 2s, and then we'll have an artillery and infantry at 3s. Okay, so there's the force there. My units, his units. So let's do this. So we have 1 first strike here that will be at a 3. So here we go. It's a 4, so we missed. Then we'll have 2 at 2s. They missed. We'll have the other infantry that was paired at a 3, so he missed. And then the 3 medium armor at 4s. Okay, well, we got 3 hits, so that was good. Should have got that earlier, but we didn't. Okay, so now I got them swapped. The militia should be at a 1 and the infantry is at 3. Doesn't really matter, but okay, the militia at a 1. Ooh, it was close to a target select, but it rolled to a 4. Okay, so he missed, and then the infantry at a 3, that's a 9. So he missed, so no hits, so we take Delhi on the first round here, which is fantastic for us. I was a little worried that it was gonna be another stalemate here. Okay, so we take Delhi back. So that's $1 off for the Japanese. Let's see, so I believe the Japanese go down to 55. Again, that could be off, but I believe that it's correct that the ANZAC go back to 7. Because they'll get this $1 here, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 3 for Calcutta, so that should be the full 7 for them. I'll grab the units here. So that was better than I thought it would go. I figured we'd lose at least an infantry, so it does help us. Okay. So again, 3 infantry, an artillery, and 3 medium armor took Delhi without any casualties. Okay, and then we have the convoy raid over here, and then we'll have the sub against the TBD and the destroyer. Or not the destroyer, sorry, the transport. Okay, and he doesn't have ASW, so his transport doesn't get a defense roll at 1. Okay. So there's my force. So his guy at a 2, my guy at a 3. I do have first strike. So it's not a destroyer. Okay, so the sub at a 3, first strike. 9 and missed. And then the TBD at a 2. That's an 11. Let's roll these together here, actually, going forward. So I'll be blue for the attacker at a 3. He'll be the defender at a 2. And I believe I have first strike every round after this, because he still doesn't have a destroyer present. So here we go. So I got my hit, and he missed. Okay. So we'll sink the TBD plus the transport that was hanging out there. So that's nice. So then we'll place that sub back over, and it's P whatever. And then let's go ahead and do the convoy raid here. So black is the attacker as always, and white is the defender. We get a +1. Black's the attacker, white's defender. So +1, so 6 minus 3 is $3. So I believe we do the full to look at the line. I think it's $3 that's available. It might be 5, but either way, we did 3 there. The sub back, place the damage. Yeah, so there's 5 available. We only did 3. And then we have the sub hanging out there. Okay. So that's that. And I believe that's it for combat. So pretty successful round, I think, in terms of what we've killed and taken. Okay, so let's get to non-combat then. This is a long video, guys, so I'll apologize in advance. Make sure I've done all my moves here. Okay, non-combat. Up here in home country, these aircraft have to land. So they went 1, 2, 3. So the fighter and tactical that took off from A27 have to land in northern England. And then we will walk, I gotta grab a sculpt here. We will walk 1 infantry to northern England here. So that leaves us with 3 in southern England. The fleet that's here in A21, so all the ships that are on the card over here, they're all gonna go import in southern England. Plus the 3 fighters will come and land back. So they're hanging out there. What else? Done all that. Oh, the fighter up here in Scotland. So he went 1, 2, 3. He would have had 2 movement left because of the airfield. So he's going to land back into, yeah, I guess we'll put him here in what is that? Southern England. He'll go back to southern England, so he'll hang out there. What else? Mark stuff off here. So that's done. That's done. That's done. We have some non-combat down here in the Mediterranean. So we're gonna take 2 of the 3, so there'll be 1 transport left. Take 2 transports plus the 2 Marines, so that'll leave us with 1 transport, 1 militia, and the 5 infantry in Gibraltar, along with the medium bomber for the Americans. So this force is going to go 1, 2, 3 to C zone I5, and then we'll drop the 2 Marines off into Lower Egypt. Okay, and then all of the ships that are here in M8, grab an import marker. They're all going to come out of the C zone and go straight import in Lower Egypt. So I'll do that off camera here, but that's where they're at. The seaplane will land, so it would have gone 1. It's going to go 2, 3, 4, and land back in Gibraltar. The medium bomber and the air transport will land in Lower Egypt. Do that. That's it there. And then let me angle the camera so you can see India here. So for India, we're going to take 1 militia out of Calcutta and walk into Benares. The militia in Benares is going to rail to Maharashtra via either southern India or Punjab, whichever. Then so let me take off chip here. So we're down to 4 militia in Calcutta. We're going to take another militia out of Calcutta. So we'll be down to 3 total in Calcutta. Escort. And he's going to walk into southern India. We have coverage there. And then the infantry, along with the infantry, the 2 mountain infantry, and the AA gun that are in southern India, will go to Calcutta. Okay. And I just realized I totally forgot to roll the battle in New South Wales. So it's 3 infantry against a militia. There's no penalties for me. Let's go ahead and roll that. I believe that's it for non-combat though in India. There shouldn't be any others that I know of. Yeah. Okay. So let's roll that battle here real quick. So it's 3 infantry at 2s, and then his guy at a 2. So let's zoom out. Okay, so I'll have 3 blue against his 1 red. Okay, here we go. Round 1. He got a hit, and I got a hit. That was a much faster battle than I figured it would be. Okay, so we'll take New South Wales with 2 infantry, and he loses New South Wales with the Japanese. So ANZAC goes up $1 to 5. And the Japanese go down another $1 to 54. That's probably a catch-22 because now I think it's here. Yeah. Now the convoy raiding line is open, so he could technically come down and convoy raiding now. So he does have that benefit open. But, okay, so we lost an infantry, he lost the militia and the zone. So that's done. All right. Okay. So we should be done with non-combat. At least with the British anyways. And then let's get into unit placement. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. So the destroyer is going to be built via the shipyard in Scotland. He'll go, starting here in the sea zone A17, go 1, 2, 3 to the port here in Nova Scotia, and then go down to Venezuela with the range, and then from the range at Venezuela, it'll go through the Panama Canal and pop out over San Francisco, and place the destroyer in P25. Doesn't need to go in port since the Japanese won't go before, so we'll put that there. The militia that we built is going to go to Cape Town, as mentioned before. So we put the militia in Cape Town. So Cape Town will just have a militia and an infantry now. Push that down. Okay, and then coming back to India, we will place the 2 motorized upgrades into, it's Delhi. So we'll replace 2 of those guys with motorized so that they come off. So now we have 2 motorized infantry in there, plus a regular infantry, the 3 medium armor, and the artillery. And then the artillery, oh, I gotta take off the damage too. So there was $10 there in damage. We paid off 3. Oops. So there's just 7 left now, which is still, damage is damage, but it's better. Anything's better at this point. Okay, and then we need to place the artillery for ANZAC. So that'll go in Sydney. At the minor factory, so there's that. Okay, so we're done with that.
ANZAC still have a warship that's within 2 sea zones of home country, so we won't get their bonus. But they do collect $5 now instead of $4 because of the New South Wales take back. Okay, so we'll have 5 for them. The British will have 24 plus the $3 bonus for the Suez. So we'll have 27 to spend, possibly next turn, though I anticipate we'll lose a hefty amount of it. And then FEC, they collect 7. So we'll have $7 to spend for them. Okay. Okay, now let's do the French here. This is fairly quick for them. There's no moves, obviously, on that side. Like I said, their purchase was a militia. They're saving $5. We will do the medium bomber will go on map in M8 and attack those 2 destroyers. So we'll get 1 round there. The Marine and Infantry over here in South America will take the Marine from Patagonia and walk north. And we'll take the Infantry from Pampas and walk into here as well. So we'll have 2 infantry class units attacking into Norte Grande against the militia that's defending. So we'll do a battle there. And I think that's it. Other than, we're gonna go ahead, actually no, I don't think we can do that because I believe that they could scramble to help. So we won't do that. Okay. Oh, the sub for them is gonna move to the Med as well. He's gonna convoy raid the Italians. So he's gonna go 1, 2 to M2 and raid there. So we'll do that. Okay. So let's roll that out real quick. So there's 3 little battles. So let's start with the convoy raid. So I have +2 for the French. I'm black. So there we go. So there's the dollar damage that we'll do against the Italians. So they lose $1. Okay, and then we have the battle down here in South America. So we'll have 2 blue and 1 red. No first strikes, nothing else special. You can't scramble because there's no airfield. So here we go. 2s and 2s. So we got a hit. And then there's 2 misses. So he missed and we took it. So the French will go up by another $1. And the Soviets go down $1. So I believe the Soviets, are at 55. And the French now are at $3. Okay, I have to get some rondels for them out. Okay, so there's that. And then finally the battle against the 2 subs with the medium bomber. So these 2 are off. So we have 1 at 7 here for the medium bomber. Let's get a hit, please. Of course, it's a 12. I cannot hit regular subs or advanced subs this game at all. Okay, so the Italian subs yet again survive in M8, and they will probably take the full $10 that I have, well, yeah, they'll take, I'm sure, most of the income I have. So, okay, that's it for them. So they had 5 that they saved, and they will collect $3, so they'll have 8 to spend next turn. So, there's that. Place the militia down here in South America at Patagonia. Okay, there's that. Now this gives me something else to think about with the Americans, because now I could technically surround the city here because it's not adjacent to Uruguay, and I could surround the city and then attack it. But I don't know that that's worth doing or not. So, okay. With that done, I believe that's it. Other than we have any other non-combat? yeah, the seaplane that's up here in Nova Scotia, he's actually going to come out of here, and we're going to send him down to Gibraltar, just so we have better coverage down at Gibraltar. There's more money down there. I guess if the Germans decide to come over here, then bring it on. But we'll do that. Okay. I think that's it for them. Again, income that we collect. A little discombobulated here because there's adjustments, but show everything. And that should wrap up this video because this is a long one. Okay, so $7 for FEC, $5 for ANZAC, $27 for the British, and $8 for the French. So that should do it. We didn't get tech yet again. And then what else was there? We did $3 in damage to the Japanese line in P50, and we did $1 damage against the line for the Italians. So I believe that should do it, guys. There's no recruitment roles to do. We don't have anything else. We already did diplomacy, so we're good to go. Okay, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll catch you next time.